Usually when we lose, I mean, it happens so often. It's like, whatever, another week. There has been this thing this year with the North fans, including myself, of a bit higher expectation. I feel like, if you recall last week, I actually asked you, like, genuinely, what are your thoughts on this game? I wanted you to actually think about it.
Well, I tipped North. You got me up and about. I tipped North, man.
I did it to my brother as well. Sorry if you tipped North because of me, but I honestly did think with the outs that Sydney had and the fact that they haven't been great,
yeah,
and the fact that we have shown a little bit of something under the roof, the crowd was into it. I did honestly think we were a chance to be in the game, and then who knows, you know, depending on how the game went, maybe you can win it. Now, what actually unfolded was a first quarter in which you look at it on the scoreboard, 5-2. But I honestly felt like we were pretty hard done by. There was a few umpiring decisions and just a few mistakes, like the typical things a young team will do. And I thought, all right, let's just steady the ship, which we did in the second quarter. So up until halftime, the crowd was really into it. The boys were competing pretty hard, a lot of mistakes as usual. I think the score from turnover at halftime, even though we were 3 or 4 goals down, was like 40-something against at halftime.
That's crazy.
Which I didn't realize, like in the moment, again, watching North all these years, I sort of just see the turnovers as part of the game, but that's not normal. That's not good. Right? So watching it, I don't know, live, I have a different experience live versus on TV.
Yeah.
In person, I thought, look, we're competing, you know, some mistakes, things could be worse, but I was actually excited at halftime. I thought, look, if the boys just steady here, the crowd's into it, we can actually, you know, I said to Matza, 3/4 time, we need to come in either at this margin, which was about 4 goals, or ideally less. And I think we're a chance. Yeah. Even if we're 4 goals down 3/4 time, I thought, look, we're still a chance. Obviously, what happened in that third quarter was honestly like bottom of the barrel football.
Yeah. What was kind of the fan reaction? Were people fired up, or was it kind of like a solemn crowd?
Zero anger around me.
Yeah.
Including from me. Everyone is just, again, so used to the bad football that it was, hey, we're up and about. Every tackle, we're raw. Like it was great atmosphere to start the game, and then it just became, it's going to be one of these ones now.
Yeah.
And the disappointment of it was when I'm watching a few clips, because again, in person, it's hard to know. You're on level 1. I've seen a few clips back. There's a damning one that's making the rounds of an easy transition the Swans did from behind. And it's just like kick to 30 meters right in front, like center of the field, kick up the corridor, kick up into the 50. Like 3 or 4 kicks of just uncontested. Like, what are you all doing?
Yeah.
Embarrassing. Another one of like Luke McDonald in the center of the ground. The Sheasel, like 2 players to his left, like not even out of his peripheral, like out of his sight. If he just turns his head slightly, right on the 50, Sheasel open. No one around him. He just bombs it to a 10-on-10 pack. Stuff like that. And the amount of times we would have a shot hit the post or a mistake, didn't even get a shot off. And then within 30 seconds, it's a goal the other way. Is just way too easy. And I'm not getting too angry about it because it's the same old mistakes. Like, I'm beyond the anger point at this rate. But for me, it's just, what do we do from here? A lot of North fans online or other pods or whatever are questioning Clarko a little bit. For me, Clarko's not the problem. Like you said, he's not really getting angry with the media. Like, I don't need to see that personally. That's not my go right now.
Yeah.
We all know Clarko's a great coach. You don't win 4 premierships. Now, it is a different era. Maybe his tactics aren't as made for the modern game. I can't say that for sure. All I do know is, again, when Luke McDonald, a seasoned veteran, is bombing it to a pack instead of just looking slightly to the side to hit an open man on 50, that's not coaching. Clarko's not wanting him to do that. You know what I mean? If they're transitioning the ball, Clarko's not saying, hey, Tom Powell, don't run with your man.
Well, it's interesting you say it's not coaching, but it has to be, isn't it? Because who's setting them up? Or unless, this is the thing I even have with Carlton and some of these other teams that can't kick the balls inside the 50. It's clearly not good football, but the coach has to prepare the players to play a certain way against adversity, right?
Yeah, no, I'd agree about the general game plan. Yeah. But in a moment like that where there's 2 options in front of you, the guy open to your left or the pack, that's an individual player's choice. I would bet a lot of money that Clarko's looking at that from the coach's box saying, there's your man, and then he's annoyed when he hasn't kicked it there. Speculation. But
why do you think players don't hit that option? Is it they're not capable, they don't have the game sense? Is it that they go into their shell?
I think it's a game sense. I think it's fear of failure. With North at this point in time, I think, like Matzo and I have been saying to start the season. It's like that new mantra for North is drive the car, take your 7 seconds when you've marked the ball, assess your options. We've shown in spurts of games we can chip the ball around and control the game a little bit better.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the actual like bite off the difficult kick, just the for me it's between the ears. We're not a good enough team. We're still young, but also some of the stuff was damning in that third quarter specifically. Now I will say this, and Clarko said this, and North fans getting annoyed at him. The Swans are a good team. And when the Swans are on, and they had a 13-day break, we had a 6. I'm not making excuses, but they've had 2 weeks to think about North Melbourne.
Yeah.
Fresh, ready to go. We've had 6-day break. I'm not blaming that aspect of it, but they were ready. They had the look in their eye, the toughness all game, and it just seemed like one of those games where they've got 3 men to every one.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, I feel like the North boys like competed, and then were just outmatched. And then it got out of hand real quick. So, I don't know.
Which is disappointing because, I mean, Chad Warner got subbed out, had a poor game. He's the big driving factor. There are a lot of key Swans out. So, yeah.
It didn't matter at that point. I'll be honest. I didn't realise he was off.
Yeah.
For me, it's just the red guys were bigger, stronger, and smarter. And we just lost the confidence to compete and match them. So, it didn't really matter who was out there, to be honest with you.
If obviously North had a positive start to the year, had that big win against Melbourne. If the trend continues from this game and you kind of fall flat, end up being another bottom 4 team, how will you reflect on that? Is it
depends how many wins we get?
Yeah.
If it's 3, 4 or less, like it has been in every other year, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Now, if it's 7, 8 wins and we're still edge of that bottom 4, I can at least look at the positives in that. In saying that, look, we are going to lose the Gold Coast this week. Then we've got you guys.
Yeah.
That's definitely not not a game I'd go in with massive confidence, but you could argue it's winnable.
Yeah, that's winnable.
Look, from my perspective, there's way more angry on North fans out there. I'm sort of more just overreacting to these kind of losses. I did think they were gone. I will say there's a bit of a thing online as well about, and you wouldn't even be on your mind, but like a guy like Toby Pink was key defense the last couple of weeks while Griffin Logue was out. And then this week, he got dropped for Matt Whitlock, our debutant, which we traded a first-round pick this year for. And Logue came back. So we played 4 tall defenders, Common, Core, Logue, Whitlock, which was strange. I'll be honest. Like, I wasn't expecting Whitlock to get a game so early. But specifically the North fans, and this is a bit of a vent, those complaining about the fact that Pink got dropped over supposedly good game against Adelaide is just laughable to me. Because you've got your 5th-string key defender out there out of necessity.
Yeah.
He's had 2 half-decent games. If he goes out when Logue's back, like, don't act like he's undroppable because he did his role for 2 weeks. We're talking about Toby Pink here. Like, no disrespect.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of disrespect, man. It's Toby Pink. Just get rid of him. Sure.
No, but like, you know what I mean? You don't wait for him to have the bad game, in my opinion, and then drop him. You thank him for his service for the games he filled in for, and then he's out of there. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can begrudge getting your first-round draft pick some experience.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he was playing as like a medium when he's 200 centimeters was a bit weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, disappointing. Swans are a good team. North isn't. I do worry that we're going to get spanked by Gold Coast this week.
Yeah.
And then it's like, shit, now we really need to beat Carlton or at least be in the game like till the very end.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Look, from a Sydney perspective, probably won't talk about it too much. I think the main player that I want to talk about is Bice, which I think everyone's talking about. It just pisses me off that Sydney can find a player like this in the 40s. I think the Luke Parker pick.
It was Parker and Constanti for pick 44, Riley Bice. Yeah.
This guy comes in, another left footer, right? When I see that, I just think of my own team and all the other teams that just can't find a way to get a value pick. This guy's coming in. He's already the most damaging halfback in the team. They've got Nick Blakey in there. And this guy was halfback, forward half intercepts, kicking into forward 50, switching it. Like, who is this guy?
But is it a matter... I agree with you. Is it also just a matter of the system? Like, he's just there to play his role and he's got the confidence now. Like, put it this way. If he was on North Melbourne, I don't think anyone's talking about him.
Maybe.
I think it's one of those ones.
But it could also just be the fact that being a recruit that's older, maybe he's just ready to come into the football, to play football.
Maybe, and that's, like you said, every team that passed on him.
Imagine just being able to plonk someone like him straight into your team.
Yeah.
Plug a hole, solve a problem. And Sydney, who doesn't need any more players that can kick the ball straight, it's frustrating, man. But good on Sydney.
Yeah. No, their ball movement was great. North's transition defense sucks, but it takes a good team to actually punish you, which they did. So, full credit to them. Do you think because they were a premiership contender last year. Obviously, they were in the grand final. Great, best team all year, bar finals, obviously. But do you think this is it? Like the trajectory is up now? Do you think they just, humbled a North team that's not very good?
Oh, they have to be around it, man. I mean, look, they still got their captain to come in. They got Errol Goulden to come in. They got Papley, Melican. Who else?
Not Taylor Adams, if you consider
Taylor Adams.
S22.
There's probably one or two others that we're missing as well, right? So, 8 great players to come back in. You know that they make a difference. But yeah, like you can't. I don't think you can be concerned about Sydney at this point.
Yep,
it's still early season, so we don't know exactly how good they can be. But we've seen their best football last year. The thing about Sydney is just the fact that they've been pumped in grand finals twice.
Yeah,
you think, do they have what it really takes to go all the way to the end? Well, we don't know, but I mean they'll be pushing for top 4 surely.
Yeah, I think that'd be their ambition for sure, despite where they are at right now. Oh, Mats has given me the thing. Mats wanted me to say something that I forgot to write down, so I'll mention it now. Caleb Daniel. Now,
I actually had a note. The turnovers. Are you going to talk about turnovers?
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. So, look, I think as North fans, we're so desperately crying out for good ball use in the defense that it just seems like every year we put every egg in the one basket. A couple of years ago, it was like the Aaron Hall basket. Then it was like
Zach Fisher,
the Zeeble basket. Then it was Zach Fisher.
Where's he gone?
He was injured to start the season. Now he's in the twos, and I think he got concussed. But anyway, Matz's good call the other day when we're at the game was Daniel's basically like Fisher with a helmet right now. So, look, he's not wrong because when you have all your eggs in the one, but like I said, all the kicks go to Caleb Daniel. He's going to make mistakes, but some of them have been bad.
Yeah,
like there was a few really bad kicks the last couple of weeks.
Is it just he's trying to bite off something that's not there to get the game going? It's not?
Some of them were just like he was going to kick it long, stuttered, hesitated, then tried to hit the 20-meter kick and kicked it to the wrong person. Yeah. Some of them are really bad. I'm not saying he's horrible. He's got value, but probably one more thing I'll vent about. Our kick-ins are the worst in the comp. Our efficiency of getting the ball, just from a kick-in, a simple kick like 30 meters into the boundary, someone waiting on the boundary, is like apparently not an option. Just take the easy kick and then punt it up the field if you want.
Well, this is one of those things that probably is coaching because this is set plays.
That I will guarantee blame whoever's in charge of the kicking structure because we, for years now, can't find a half-decently efficient way to get the ball out.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating.
It's super frustrating. A lot of teams can't do it, and a lot of teams have set plays where they can kick the ball twice and it's in the forward 50.
And it just seems like, hey, why is that guy open? Oh, now the next one's open. It's like 2 kicks, they're out of the 50.
Yeah.
Then it's the offense starts.
But if it's a set play, you know that they're going to have time, they're going to be in the goal square. How come the team can't be creative to find a way to get the ball out?
I don't know, man. I can't answer that question.
Have half the players run one way, half the players run the other, and then one in the middle. Like, do something.
You're right. I think there will come a time in AFL footy where teams are much braver with the kicking because at a certain point, the defense is going to get so good at stopping so many situations that you're going to have to do something crazy like that.
And I think defense is already at the point where the flood of defense, you can just bomb the ball 50, repeat entries, and it just comes out, man.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a transition game. It's a scoring from defense game. So teams are better at doing that than doing anything else.
Yeah. They're just so worried about the turnover that comes with that risk.
Yeah.
So once I think teams figure out a way to protect themselves but also take a risk, they're going to be...
It's an interesting point, though, because there's not enough creativity with kick-ins.
Man.
It's either someone does a cheeky pass or it goes to the right side or left side.
Yeah. Well, and mostly it's just someone's open because the defense, someone got lazy. A part of the cog got a bit lazy and left a man open.
That's true.
But that's not the offensive team doing anything special. So, anyway, that pissed me off as well. Thanks, Matza, for the call.